Hello everyone! Last week we began the story of Nobundo, in which we talked about his transformation from the light-wielding Draenei into a shamanistic broken, landing on the planet of Azeroth and joining the Alliance, adding shamans to their ranks. You might think that the founder of shamanism amongst the Draenei and introducing it to the Alliance, that would mean a quite prominent role in the story, but that's not really the case. He was mainly used as a supportive character, like during the events of the Cataclysm. In that expansion, we saw the Black Dragon Deathwing break out of the world and cause all kinds of damage. The elements cried out in need of aid, and Nobundo answered the call. He was not alone either, as with him stood the organization called the Earthen Ring, a neutral faction of Shaman, dedicated to maintain the balance between the elements. It includes Shaman from both the Horde and the Alliance. Individuals who put aside old rivalries for the good of the world. Good thing too, as Deathwing and the one that was signing his paychecks, the old god N'Zoth. They wanted the world to be busy fighting each other. They wanted it divided so that their plans of bringing about the Hour of Twilight, that those plans could be realized. With Deathwing breaking out, the surface of the world transformed. But there was also quite a lot of change amongst the factions, amongst the Alliance and the Hordes. For example, King Magni Bronzebeard, he went through an ancient ritual in order to communicate with the land, to figure out what was going on, why it was in such turmoil. But instead of just communicating with the land, he actually became part of it. Turned into a crystal, the dwarves found themselves without a leader. A council would rise up to take over. While it was Nobundo that Velen sent out to honor the crystallized king, as many of the other leaders had shown up to do. Then on the Horde side, we saw Warchief Thrall passing on leadership to Garrosh Hellscream to pursue his path into shamanism, eventually joining the Earthen Ring as well. It was at the Maelstrom, the place that Deathwing had burst into Azeroth, that a churning whirlpool was left behind in the Great Sea. At this specific location, the Black Dragon aspects return. It had left a scar between the surface of Azeroth and the elemental plane. The instability at the Maelstrom cascaded over the world, stirring the elemental spirits into an even greater frenzy. If the Earthen Ring could not heal the rift that Deathwing had made, destruction would simply continue to unfold across the world. So here it was, where they set up base, and they worked tirelessly to try and heal her, working unison through powerful rituals, some of them led by the honored Nobundo, who brought shamanism to his people. But it was at a time where Thrall, or Goel as he's now called, he had not quite found his center. It was due to his inner turmoil that the ritual led by Nobundo failed, that he could not calm the earth from quaking, and it would take a whole lot out of him to work through those problems. This is a quest which is told in the novel Thrall, Twilight of the Aspects, in which he goes on a mission given by the green dragon aspect Ysera. It guides him closer to his shamanistic destiny, while able to help out the other dragon aspects, until he returns to take his place in the ring, calmer and more centered. A deep bond between him and the other shamans developed, but none closer than the one that he had with Agra. At Mount Hyjal, they vowed to be each other's life mates, a ceremony that Nobundo was honored to be present at. That wasn't the only reason why they had gathered here though. The druids of the Cenarian Circle and the shamans of the Earthen Ring, they worked together to heal the World Tree Nordrassil, but they didn't exactly take care of the Deathwing problem. Sure enough, there were victories, and ground had been earned against threats like Ragnaros, Elakir, and even Cho'Gall and the Twilight Hammer. But Deathwing, the Infinite Dragonflight, and N'Zoth himself, they were still out there. As Thrall meditated and dove deeper into the world of Azeroth itself, his spirits eventually came across Deathwing, just chilling in a cavern, waiting in this trap. The old god's influence, it would not let Goel escape, and the wound inflicted upon his spirits erupted as massive fissures on the mountain. Nobundo, Muln, Earthfury, and Agra, they called for him. They sought him out until the very roots of Nordrassil, they penetrated the cave. The onslaught of druidic and shamanistic magic combined. It forced Deathwing to let go of his prey, safely returning Goel to his body, just in time for the final confrontation with Deathwing himself. Heroes of the world combined their might with Thrall and the Aspects, and utterly obliterated the mad Aspects. For Nobundo though, and the others of the Earthen Ring, their work continued, trying to fix the damage caused. Even Thrall stayed at their side, leaving leadership of the Horde in Garrosh's hands. Now our Garrosh, he had quite a different vision than Thrall had. He took enjoyment out of ripping apart those alliances that Thrall had built up. Nobundo told Frau that he would understand if he felt the calling to go back, but nothing was greater than healing the world, not even the horde that he loved so much. Mr. Pandaria played out. Eventually, the faction conflict became unavoidable. The bombing of Fedamore, Cairn's death, the siege of Orgrimmar. Frau had to take action, and so did Nobundo, representing the Draenei in Pandaria, ultimately leading to Garrosh being kicked out of the mantle of Warchief and placed on trial. The verdict was never passed though, as Garrosh was rescued by the bronze dragon Kairos Dormu. He took him back in time to a brand new alternate reality, before a time that the orcs drank the demonic blood and sold themselves to the Legion. This gives us an opportunity to see what Nobundo's life looked like before the red mists. In Talador, he wields the light for the defense of Akandun, asking us to help him fight against the Shadow Council. Yet even in this alternate reality, even still being a pure and holy Draenei, his connection to the elements is undeniable. In Nagrand, at the Throne of Elements, where our Nobundo started his journey, his alternate version, he is summoned there as well. Despite us preventing Gul'dan's plans with the demonic blood, the Orc Warlock, he is not given up.
When you are ready, we will commune with the great furies.
Come, speak with me. We will endure.
A dark presence grows in the west. Gordog, the great earthen fury, has gone missing.
Without a fury of earth upon the throne, the elemental bonds that hold this world together weaken.
The balance has been disrupted. The elemental plateau has grown unstable and must be purged. If left imbalanced, the elements will rage across this valley, tearing all life asunder.
Gordog must be found and returned to the throne.
The fate of the elements rests in your hands.
You will have our aid. We will find the fury of earth and restore the balance.
In order to figure out what has happened to Gordog, we'll have to undertake the ritual of binding. And to undergo the ritual, we'll have to attune ourselves to the elements and clean up some problems that have arisen in the area. Problems that require us to slay the elements too far out of control, collect their essences and restore balance. We also help out Keeper Karok, servant to the Throne of Elements and its keeper. With all of that done, with attuning ourselves and cleaning up the throne, we undergo this ritual of binding, and we find out that Gordog, he's been enslaved by Cho'Gall and his forces. In the chamber beyond Gordog, there is Cho'Gall, draining the Naru-Kur of its powers.
Cho'Gall, I sent you here to enslave this thing. Where is my power, Ogre? Your power?
It's my power!
You will obey, disciple. Hand over its reins. I think not.
We're done taking orders from you.
We've learned much from Quore.
We're writing a book.
You're insane. Run away, old man!
Soon, Heimel will burn. Then, the world.
I will meet you in the Spirit Woods near Oshogun. We must act swiftly. Quare must be saved. Meet me in the Underpale and we will confront Cho'Gall.
Kur is the Naru that helped the Draenei escape. Ushugan, that is their ship. But when they reached Draenor, Kur fell ill, and they had to make that crash landing. A darkened Naru is a powerful source of void powers, and while Gul'dan's plans of having the orcs drink the demonic blood, they were prevented, he's not quite done yet. He and his Shadow Council, they're going about plotting and scheming. Cho'Gall, right here on a mission to obtain power, but like Terangor before him, Cho'Gall, he has had quite enough of serving Gul'dan. He believes that he has all the power he requires, and sets his eyes not on what Gul'dan desires, but rather his own goals. We need to stop him all the same though, so we make our way to the Underpale and Oshugan, while taking out some of the Pale Orcs and their enslaved elementals. Deep inside, we find Gordog, And although it's with a heavy heart, we need to take him out if we want to proceed.
Mano Ekta, my friend.
Go! I will defend you from any pale that would interfere.
The Master commands, and I obey!
Gordog is a mighty Earth Fury, but we managed to take him down, and we take with us his heart. This heart will allow Gordog to be reborn in time. It's the cycle of rebirth. It applies to all elements. So even though this incarnation is gone, in the future, a new one will rise up to restore balance to the elements. This leaves us with only one final task to do here, taking on Cho'Gall. But that's not going to be that easy. The ogre, he has finished his spell. He has absorbed all the powers that he could from Kur, and he leaves us with nothing but the Void God, known as Decimatus. Together with Nobundo, or if you do this quest on the Horde side, together with Drekvar, we take on this Decimatus, making sure that he doesn't do any more damage to the rest of the Grand. With that finished, we return to the throne with the heart of Gordog.
Ore will be deeply missed by my people, but the story of your courage in the face of evil will inspire them.
The loss of Gordog, it will be felt throughout Nagrand for a while, but the day is saved. After this, vindicating Nobundo, he would continue on the fight against the Iron Hordes. Ultimately, a horde that would be defeated. Even Gul'dan and his Burning Legion plans, they were stopped. But not before alternate Gul'dan is teleported to our reality, kicking off the next expansion. Which means that we quickly had to leave this alternate Draenor behind to do its thing. Those of you that have recruited the Magor Orcs, you know that the Draenei, they've become quite fanatic under the guidance of the light. Time will tell what this alternate vindicating Nobundo's role will be in all of that. But going back to our Nobundo, in the time of the Expansion Legion, the world of Azeroth, it was once more facing a massive threat, with heavy losses suffered on the broken shore. Heroes of the world had to rise up once more, forming mighty class order halls beyond the spectrum of just the Alliance or the Hordes. The elders of the Earthen Ring have called the Shamans of the world for a meeting at the Maelstrom.
The greatest shaman in the world are gathering below. What's left of them, that is.
Yes, we must strike back. But how?
We need weapons capable of overcoming the Legion.
Here, there are no factions. We few are all that remain of the Earthen Ring, and together we must struggle, or surely we will perish alone. Survivors continue to make the way here from the four corners of Azeroth, and they need hope if they are to rejoin the fight. We have to inspire them by healing Griffin, empowering the Maelstrom Pillar with a bit of lightning, and the most inspiring thing of all, we need to call upon the elements and light a little campfire. Yet, not even the Maelstrom is safe, as the demon Gafsoon and their forces, they show up to finish what they started on the broken shore. While the Earthen Ring focuses their power, Thrall holds the line, but his connection to the elements, it's a little bit shaky. His emotions, after the events on Draenor and dealing with Garrosh, they're all over the place now, and he's having a really hard time communing with the elements.
It is ready! Everyone, focus on the pillar, quickly!
You will die! Your precious Earthen Ring will shatter! Your world will succumb! The Legion will...
By pooling our powers together, we are able to defeat Gagzoon and his forces, but Thrall, he's clearly struggling. He has some soul searching to do, but we go out and claim our artifacts to wield them in the war against the Legion. Upon returning, Thrall decides that we must be the ones to pick up what he can no longer do. We need to lead the Earthen Ring.
We stand at the precipice of oblivion, but we do not stand alone. Come forward, Shaman. We take your place among the circle, Farseer. The Earthen Ring is forged anew, and with it, we rekindle hope for this world. You are the chosen defender of Azeroth. May your wisdom guide this circle to victory, and may the power of the weapon you wield crush those who would bring chaos to this land.
Step this way, Farseer.
The torrent tell of hidden chambers below that may serve as a base of operations.
With the might of our artifacts, we open up the way to a whole secret base just ready to go. We unearth the heart of Azeroth. The Shaman of the Earthen Ring, they're under our command now, and they're going to aid our efforts against the Burning Legion. All we need to do is pick a first point of attack, and off we go, killing our enemies and making allies throughout the Broken Isles. After gaining a bit of experience, we get a message that Nobundo is looking for us back at base. A great ritual is about to take place, and they've requested us to be there. As we get back, Nobundo explains that long ago, the first Farseer of the Earthen Ring, they were given a vision of the elements. In the vision, she foresaw the arrival of a new Farseer, one who would lead them through a time of terrible crisis and unite the elements. He believes that we are the Farseer of this prophecy, called to lead before we were ever born. The time has come to fulfill our destiny. We will perform the Ritual of Tides and call upon Neptulon the Tidehunter, the first of the 4 great elemental lords. The plan is to have the elements unite, as they did once before against the might of the old gods. They got their asses kicked back then, but under our leadership, things might turn out a little bit differently.
Shaman of the Earthen Ring, let our powers combine. We call upon Neptulon, the great Lord of Tides, in the name of Azeroth. Hear our words and answer the call of the Earthen Ring.
Shaman of the Earthen Ring, you have called, but I already know the threat we face. The Burning Legion has come. You should make use of the little time you have left, mortals.
All is not lost, Tidehunter. If the elemental lords unite...
Foolish mortals! There is no unity among the Lords of Elements.
Would you bow to Sargeras and be his slave instead? Pathetic.
What do you suggest, little orc? Shall I fight the Burning Legion myself?
You will not fight alone. The Earthen Ring is with you, and we will gather the other elemental lords to our cause.
There was a time, long ago, when the elements fought as one. Perhaps there is still hope. Very well, Shaman. I will join the fight to save this world.
That's 1 down, 3 elemental lords to go. The first one that we go for, that is the element of air, with the plan to restore the rightful heir to the throne, Thunderan. Only problem is that Thunderan has been consumed by Ragnaros, as much as he could anyways, and that little that remained of the essence that was stored within the talisman of elemental binding. The talisman was then split into 2, given to Ragnaros' top lieutenants, to which mortals, as they raided through the Molten Core back in the days of Classic, they collected the pieces and they summoned Thunderan to the mortal realm. Not out of kindness, mind you, not out of loyalty to the element of air. Oh no. They just wanted his shiny weapon and make jokes with it in the trade chats. Now to resurrect Thunderan and to restore him as the elemental lord of air, we must find his sword and return it to Skywall. It's in Azuna, where we find the owner of Thunder Fury, dead on the floor, beaten by the mighty Rage Maw, and the blade has been damaged. The power that once flowed through this weapon, it's nearly extinguished, so we have to act quickly, or Thunderan might be lost forever.
There has been no peace here since the death of Alakir, Shaman.
Without a Windlord, Skywall will forever remain in turmoil.
Thunder Fury, it can be restored, but it's going to require a rare essence known as the Heart of Skywall. Vortos, the Duke of East Winds, he possesses the heart, but he does not share our desire of bringing back Thunderan, and he's not going to give it up willingly.
Let the wind sky will begin the preparations for Thunderan's rebirth. Find me when Thunder Fury has been recharged.
An entire plane of existence dedicated to the element of air. It is truly wondrous. I have seen nothing like it on my own world. I wonder if such a place exists beyond Azeroth. I do not envy you, my friend. To lead our order through this crisis must weigh heavily on your shoulders. When the Burning Legion invaded Draenor, I failed to save my people, to save my home. We must unite the elements to our cause, else our worlds share the same fate.
Begone, mortals! The time of the Wind Lords has passed.
The heart of Skywall holds the power to recharge the blade. We should continue onward with great haste.
Quickly, Shaman! Hand me the blessed blade, and Thunderon will return! The heavens await. Thanks to you, Thunder Fury has been restored, and Thunderon's spirit can finally be released.
You shall. The armies of Skywall shall stand shoulder to shoulder with the mortal races in battle against the Burning Legion. When the fog of battle clears and the Burning Legion is defeated, we shall stand victorious. Now go, tell your Earthen Ring that the Windseeker lives again.
Farseer Nobundo is truly inspired by us, and he decides to become a champion for the cause. He is able to be sent out on missions, or assign him as a combat ally, which makes him occasionally pop up to heal us or fight with us. Which means that we have air and water on our side, time to focus on Earth. We're going to need to convince Fedazane the Stone Mother to join forces with us, but so far she's been absent from our negotiations. Turns out that Deepholm is dealing with problems of its own.
I will not fight the Burning Legion while the Twilight's hammer lays siege to Deepholm.
We understand, Stone Mother. The Earthen Ring stands by you.
Together with Maul and Earthfury, we uncover the plots and schemes of the Twilight's hammer. Even discover that the Twilight Dragonflight is still going about. Now, they're not as powerful as they were during the days of Deathwing, but they're still trouble enough to need our aid.
The Earthen Ring has done a great service to Deepholm. We will return the favor. The Stone Mother always pays her debts.
The Earthen Ring is deeply grateful, Stone Mother.
With Fedazane's allegiance, we now have 3 of the Elemental Lords united to our cause, but one of them still remains. Nobundo, he doesn't join us on our trip into the Firelands, where we help place Smolderon in charge, and by doing so we earn his allegiance in the battle against the Burning Legion.
We must... Shaman of the Earthen Ring, we gathered together to commemorate the newly forged alliance. Today, we are witness to the fulfillment of prophecy. The Farseer of the Earthen Ring has united the great elemental lords to save Azeroth.
The Burning Legion will fall. The demons are no match for the fury of the elements.
Earth and stone shall rise to shield our world from the demon onslaught.
It will be an honor to battle at your side, Farseer. Together we shall scatter the demons like dust in the wind. Go forth, Farseer, as champion of the elements, and bring defeat to the Burning Legion.
The Earthen Ring stands with you as well, my friend.
With Nobundo's aid, we have done what no other Farseer has done in the history of the Earthen Ring. We have united the great elemental lords to the same cause. Our efforts in the Order Hall here, as well as the efforts from other powerful heroes across the world, it would have Azeroth rise up against the Burning Legion. Even when they attacked the Exodar, Nobundo was right there holding his ground together with the heroes. Together, we embraced allies that we have never expected to join us, and together, we did manage to defeat the Legion. But not before the Dark Titan Sargeras stabbed the world, which caused massive damage to the planet. Once more, the world is wounded, and once more, Nobundo is right there, trying to heal her. How weird the strands of fate can weave itself. How a Draenei from the world of Argus ended up on Draenor, where he inhaled the red mist and transformed. But Farseer Nobundo, he found a new path, introducing shamanism to his people. His gifts, his knowledge, his connection to the elements, they were then brought to Azeroth, where he would, several times, play a critical part in the defense of the world, but also her salvation. Time is going to tell what destiny and the elements have in store for our Nobundo. But for now, we've reached the end of his story, so as always, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you like my videos, leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and until next time, see ya!